Hey everyone, my name is Brian Zach. I'm a Nashville session drummer and touring drummer. And today's video is sort of a follow-up to a previous video that I uploaded on my Patreon page having to do with ride cymbal feel in your right arm using a mechanism to create a really nice, comfortable ride cymbal feel in the jazz idiom. So if we take the typical jazz ride pattern, ding, ding-a-ding, ding-a-ding, ding-a-ding. So I'm just going to review real quick here. Basically, the mechanism is to use your elbow and to sort of move your arm from the shoulder on down, and you're sort of pivoting your elbow to create this nice time feel on the 2 and the 4. The 2 and the 4 are the beats where your elbow sort of comes into your body, like so. 1, 2, 3, 4. So hopefully you can see my elbow moving here. I don't know. I think it's in the. It looks like it's in the shot here. So this is a sort of, like I said, it's a sort of a continuation or a part 2 of that first video. And I had some comments about, well, what if the tempo is faster? How does that translate? If the tempo is much faster, let's say you're playing a real up-tempo swing, do you still move your elbow in that way? And the short answer is yes, although it is more of a condensed movement. So like anything else, the faster you play, the smaller your motions have to become in order to achieve that speed. If I play a single stroke roll at a slow tempo, I can play high stick heights. But the moment I try to play a single stroke roll much faster, all the stick heights, everything becomes much lower, and the overall movement gets condensed quite a bit. For instance, I haven't had to play a single stroke roll that fast in a while, so maybe I need to look at that. So yeah, getting back to the ride cymbal, the faster your ride cymbal pattern, the more condensed things are going to be. Movements are going to be not necessarily so large, and because you don't have the time to make those movements happen in between the beats. And so I just wanted to demonstrate that a little bit here, and I have a click set up at, well, half note equals 150, because I have the click just playing on 2 and 4. And you do practice that, right? Because when you're practicing jazz, you want to put the click on 2 and 4. You really don't want to put the click on 1 and 3. That's really, it's kind of square sounding and just not really conducive to developing a good feel. The click should always be on 2 and 4 when working in the swing and jazz idiom. So for this demonstration, I'm playing, like I said, the click is at 150 half notes, and the click is on 2 and 4. Let's try. Let me show you this, and just pay close attention to my elbow in the movement that I'm making. Now keep in mind, in the real world, for this demonstration, I'm just going to play ding, 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 and I'm not going to play many variations, if any, on the ride cymbal. Now, but in the real world, typically you would like change up the ride pattern a bit. You're not going to play ding, 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 and not change it. I mean, you could, and maybe there is a time and a place for that, but oftentimes you're going to sort of vary it up and let the beat breathe a little bit and let it just sort of, not only does it let there be a little more space in the music, which is needed more often than not, but also it helps to give your hand and your arm a rest too, because playing ding 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 for 5 minutes behind 3 horn players who want to play 12 choruses each, that becomes a workout for your right hand. And so you have to learn endurance tricks and techniques and just little things that can help you keep that tempo from slipping while keeping the music, letting the music breathe and not being super robotic about it. So for now, I'm just going to demonstrate this pattern, and it's going to be, like I said, 150, and I'm not going to vary up the ride cymbal pattern just for demonstration's sake. I want you to look at my elbow. One, two, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Stop. Darn thing. Sorry, Bluetooth is crapping out there a little bit. I did a few variations, but not on purpose. So you sort of almost can't help it in a way, because you want to just, it's habit just to bang ding 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 dun 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 ding dun dun ding dun dun ding dun 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 ding dun dun ding dun dun ding dun 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 dun, and that's part of playing the time, and that's part of making the time feel good, is just varying up the pattern and listening and reacting to what's going on around you, whether it's the soloist or the bass player. You're reacting to that. It's sort of like almost like you're comping in a way, but just with the ride cymbal. So hopefully you saw my elbow. It's still making this sort of 2 and 4 movement, but just not so large, and it's a little more condensed, and everything is just a little more condensed. The right hand is just, and I'll say this, it's not often that you get called to play something faster than 300 beats per minute, but let's just, for argument's sake, let's bump up the tempo to, I'm going to put it, I'm just guessing here, so I'm just going to put it at like 175, half notes at 175. Let's see what that sounds like. Okay, so this is half note equals 175. Let's see what this sounds like. One, two, 1, 2, 3. I never made it any guarantees that I could actually play at 175 half notes. But for demonstration's sake, man, I haven't worked on stuff like that in a long, long time, since in my school years, which I won't even tell you how many years ago that was. But I was trying to pay attention to my right hand, and just hopefully you were too, and just how I'll say this: it's easier to just keep it the same. The moment you start changing it up, that's when I sort of start slipping a little bit. But the elbow is still moving a little bit in and out, just for the sheer, just for the momentum of getting the stick going. And the technique for articulating the ride cymbal in that way is very much just sort of like you're opening the hand. And I don't know if you can see it from this angle, but it's very just sort of like you're just sort of, I'm keeping the stick in my hand, but I'm allowing the stick to, my hand is open. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm using a combination of, it's a little bit of arm and a little bit of wrist, but it's a lot of rebound. And this will change depending on your cymbal, of course, because some cymbals have more rebound than others. If you have a sort of a heavier cymbal, chances are it's going to have more rebound. If you have a thinner, more wobbly cymbal, it's going to have less rebound, just kind of generally speaking. This cymbal, it's a pretty thin, I don't know, it's a 22-inch, and I would call it a medium thin. So it's not super thin, but it's not heavy by any means either. It actually feels really nice when you play fast tempos like that fast, because it has a good amount of rebound built into it. So I'm using that to my advantage. Look at my hand. See how I'm just like flicking the wrist kind of, but all the while I'm flicking the wrist but opening my hand. Open, da-da-da, 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 and then I'm da-da-da, and then I bring the stick literally back into my palm. So it's like da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da. I don't know if that helps at all. Da-da-da. Of course, nobody was better at this than Tony Williams. Tony Williams was able to actually get 5 notes in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can experiment with that. I haven't much experimented with that, especially not recently. When I was in school and studying jazz, real hyper-focused on studying jazz, I was trying that for a while, but I don't even think, even back then, I didn't really have the technique to execute certainly not what Tony played, but I tried. I'm trying today, so please forgive me. I don't make my living as a bebop drummer these days. So, these are skills that I have to practice quite a bit as well, especially before a gig that I have to play this kind of music on, which really these days is only with my own band, the Milestones band. I lead a Miles Davis tribute band called Milestones. So if you haven't checked that out, please subscribe to us on Instagram. It's Milestones _tribute at Milestones_tribute is the handle on Instagram. Please give us a like and a follow, because we play shows all around Nashville, and I'm looking to book that elsewhere as well, both for concerts and festivals, but also for educational as well, clinics, master classes, school performances, that sort of thing. So anyway, back to the ride cymbal thing. So yeah, the basic premise is like, at quarter note equals 300, even at 300, the elbow is still making the movement, and really the feel is coming from the arm movement. And it really is a mechanism. Like, as I said in the first video, a mechanism could be anything that you rely on for timekeeping, or for being comfortable, or for something to just be automatic, that it just works. It's like in baseball, a pitcher's mechanics. When they talk about a pitcher's mechanics, that means his motion, his arm motion, his whole delivery. And in drumming, it's the same. It's your delivery. It's the way you hit the drum, or the way that you play the beat. A mechanism can be just you, like, clicking your tongue, like, in time, or like maybe like grinding your teeth, or sticking your tongue out, or like, throwing your head back a certain way. I mean, it could be, moving your shoulders. I mean, it could be anything. It could be like tapping your foot, maybe your right foot or your left foot. You're tapping your heel on the pedal as you play. And I know you can't see that in the shot here, but so it can be anything like that. It can be just a physical motion of some sort that helps you perform your job at the best ability that you can. And so this, for me, this elbow movement is a mechanism, and it works for me, and I think it'll work for you too. And I really haven't spent a whole lot of time developing it. It just sort of happened. And for me, that's the best kind of mechanism, the kind that just naturally occurs. And then one day you'll look down and you'll realize what's happening. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm actually moving my elbow like this. And I had to, when I realized it, I had to actually look and figure out, am I moving my elbow in on the 2 and the 4, or is it on the 1 and 3? Like I didn't know, but I just knew from watching video that I was doing this thing, and I was like, oh my gosh. So really the best mechanisms are the ones that are just inherent in your playing, and somewhere along the way you realize that's happening and it's working for you. I guess there could be bad mechanisms, unhealthy mechanisms. Maybe if I can only imagine, like, ergonomically, if your kit is set up funny, maybe your snare drum is like super low, and you're like, I know guys that play like their snare drum really, really low, and they have to bend their wrists kind of like this to play backbeats on their snare drum. That might be a bad mechanism. I don't know. I'm not willing to find out the hard way, so I bring my snare drum up high, like to my belly button, just because that's what's comfortable. And so I don't really have that problem. But a mechanism is something that it's a good thing generally. You want it to be working for you, not against you. So here we are. So yeah, I hope this kind of explains things a little bit more. Oh, one last bit before I wrap this lesson up. I wanted to address the idea of playing in odd meters, and not just odd, just really in 3/4, really, because if you're playing a jazz waltz, generally speaking, your ride cymbal pattern is no longer ding, dang, ka dang, dang, ka dang, dang, ka dang. It's going to be dang, dang, da dang, 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 da dang, 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 da dang, or some variation of that, dang, 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 da dang, dan, dan, da dan, or dan, da dan, 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 da dan, dan. Generally. So how does that translate with the elbow? Let's play a little bit in 3/4 here and just kind of experiment. And I'm going to pay attention, and I want you to pay attention to my right elbow as well. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2. Okay, so here's what I'm realizing as I'm playing. Basically, every time I'm going to play the skip note pattern, that is ding-a-ding. So quarter note, or rather, really, it's, if you want to think of it as dotted eighth note to a 16th note to a quarter note, ding-da-ding. Anytime I'm going to play that pattern, no matter where it is in the bar, that's when my elbow comes in on the dotted eighth note. Ding-da-ding, ding-da-ding. It's weird because when you're thinking about it, you're super self-conscious about it. So it's like you're not sure, am I really doing that normally without, like when I'm not thinking about it and I'm just thinking about the music? It's kind of a weird thing to show people when you're just hyper like aware of your right arm and what it's doing. So hopefully that helps. But yeah, generally speaking, even in 3/4, or I would say really if you're playing in 5/4, it doesn't matter really the time signature at all. What matters is when you play that pattern, ding-a-ding, within the quarter note pulse. So let's say you're just playing quarter notes, dan da da don 2 3 1 2 3 da da. Right there, my elbow would have come in, don 2 3 da da, in on the 3. 1 2 da 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 da. I don't know. Experiment with it. There's no rules here, folks. So whatever feels good to you, I'm just trying to share with you what's worked for me. And a lot when I go out and I see other jazz drummers playing, and sometimes on YouTube too, a lot of them are just, their elbows are tucked into their body, and they're just playing wrist motions, and the feel just isn't there. Like I'm sorry, it just doesn't sound like Elvin or Tony or Jack or Max or any of the amazing jazz drummers that have come up through the ranks, even to the modern guys like Bill Stewart or I guess Bill Stewart may be a bad example because I know Bill Stewart does that click ride thing where he kind of grips the stick, but also creates like a clave kind of thing with his, like as if he was going to play claves. I normally play claves I hold the left clave like that, but if you're going to play claves like with your right hand, and he makes like a little chamber with his right hand, and he gets that click ride. I haven't really messed around with that, but I saw that once, and I thought that was very interesting. But any of the modern guys that have come along, Brian Blade. I went to hear Marcus Gilmore in New York a few weeks ago. I mean, he had a great ride pattern, great ride feel, I should say. So experiment with this really, and just spend some time thinking about it. It's really, the important thing is that you're aware of it and that you're thinking about it, and that you're making, it's hopefully it's creating progress for you. And if it's not, then try something else. Okay, like I said, there's no rules. I'm not telling you what to do by any means, but it's really helped me keep that nice wide ride cymbal feel, or just at least consistent. So I'm not always trying to make it wide, but I'm a big Elvin fan, so I really love those big triplety da da da. Okay, so yeah, that's today's lesson. Hopefully this helps. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you haven't joined me on Patreon, check out patreon.com/Brian Zach and join me there. It's quite cheap, and I think it'll be well worth your time and your little bit of money, and really gets you into all sorts of great videos and content that I've created over the years, like this video and more. So go on over and check that out, patreon.com/Brian Zach. And if you want to study with me, brianzach.com. If you're in Nashville, great. Let's have a lesson in person. If you're not in Nashville or can't get here, then we can do video conferencing on FaceTime or Zoom, and we'll make that happen as well. So, yeah, thanks again, and see you on the next video. Stay amazing.